Top tips for eating out at fast food joints and restaurants. Hi, this is Bo from Bo to Fitness, and in today's video we're looking at task 19 of our meal prep challenge checklist. And we're really looking at my top 10 tips for when you're eating out at whether it be fast food or you're going out to a restaurant with friends. There's probably a lot more tips we could go over, but I'm just going to go over my top 10. And we're just going to go right through these one at a time. Number one, share. When you go out with someone, share. Order something that you're going to split with somebody else. So the portion sizes are a bit smaller, and that way you're. And you know, the other thing is, I have a hard time with this, but I'll order something, and then the kids will ask for a bite or two or something, and or even my wife will, hey, you want to share that with me? So she's really good at sharing, and I tend to be really greedy, and I'm like, I want to eat this myself. But the more you can give those bites away and you can say, here, you want to finish this off, have it be somebody else's weight gain issue, not your own. So try to share that, or again, order a single meal and then split it with someone. And this is especially relevant if you order, like, say, a dessert or something after your meal. You got to really be careful with those. So if you eat your whole meal and then you're going to order dessert after, don't eat your own dessert. Order one dessert that you're going to share or split between one other person, or sometimes even two other people. So the next tip is, prior to your main course, even before you get to the restaurant, you want to try to have a fiber protein drink, which is called a preload. This is a scientific term looking at the impact of when subjects were given a meal before a meal. So basically it'd be like a snack. It could be fruit, a salad, or even like a drink, like a fiber protein type drink. And the goal of this research was to see, if you give someone a small meal before their main course, can you actually get them to consume fewer calories than if they were just to go and eat the meal as it is. So for example, subjects would have a lasagna buffet. They would tell one group, here, you're going to have a small salad before you have your lasagna buffet, whereas the other group were just turned loose. And the goal was to see, if you add in all the calories from that preload meal plus whatever they ate at the the lasagna buffet, which group consumed more calories. And ultimately it was the group who had no preload, no high water, high fiber meal prior to the main course, who always ended up consuming way more calories, which subsequently resulted in more weight gain. So when we have a preload, we want meals or drinks or things that have been shown to be very effective at helping you to eat less. And one of them is a low-fat salad. Remember, this does not work if you go say, hey, give me a salad, and then you pour on top of that salad dressing and oil and seeds and dried fruit and all this kind of stuff, croutons. It just defeats the whole purpose. So we're talking like a low-fat salad would be an option. Soups are very good. So again, low-fat, high-fiber, high-water volume soup. So like a vegetable soup or a bean soup is a great preload meal. Or I like, just for the convenience sake of it, I like these fiber protein drinks. So I'll get like a shaker bottle, fill it with water, put a scoop or so of like a soluble fiber like Metamucil, and a protein drink of some kind, or a protein powder of some kind, and I'll shake that up in my water bottle. You want lots of liquid. You want to feel as though you're filling your stomach with liquid, and then you go into the restaurant and you have your meal, or you go to your event. These preloads typically only really work well if you consume them within 15 to 20 minutes prior to your main course. And what research showed was that when you had it too long before, so let's say it's an hour before your main meal, you end up not necessarily having a real positive effect. It doesn't really help you to eat less. So you really want to try to time it to be right before your main course. All right, so number 3 on our list here is walk there and walk after. And this is really just emphasizing that, you know, when we're going out to eat on a regular basis, you better have a high level of physical activity. The fact of the matter is that when you go to these fast food places and stuff, they're always going to be higher calorie, more processed foods, and as a result, they're going to tend to be more, they promote weight gain. So those who have a lot of physical activity are going to be able to get away with this from time to time. But those who are very sedentary and they don't work out that much, they have to really, really be careful to make sure that you're not doing this on a regular basis. So when you do go out, think of it too as in like, hey, if I go out to a fast food place, I'm gonna go do some exercise after, or I'm gonna do a little bit before, and it's almost like a little reward for all that hard work put in. I know me, like if I ever go out and have some kind of processed meal You can ask almost, again, anyone who knows me. I can't help but go do some type of workout thing after, otherwise I just feel awful. So you're gonna feel better too if you do some activity prior or before that fast food treat. Number 4, think veggies and protein when you go out to eat at these fast food places. So when you're ordering from the menu, you want to be thinking, what can I get from this menu that's going to have the most vegetables and it's going to have the most protein while being low in fat. Remember, there's no point in having, like, say, a ton of vegetables if you're just going to pour fatty dressings all over the top of it and everything like that. So we want to try to find creative dishes that are going to be high fiber, high protein, that are still yummy. So, think salads with a lean protein, pasta dishes without the oil, and then I oftentimes will say, hey, can I have a dish of pasta and I want most of the bowl filled with, like, say, broccoli and garlic or whatever, and a little bit of chicken, rather than having a giant bowl of pasta with a tiny little bit of broccoli or no veggies at all. So a lot of times if I order a sandwich or something, or even like a burger, I'll say, hey, can you take the mayo off of it, and can you give me extra onions, extra pickles, extra lettuce, really pile the veggies on top of that thing to really veg it up, so that there's more volume, less fat, less overall sugars and so on in that meal. Number 5, kind of touched on this a little bit already, but it's rarely eating out. So meaning this should not be something that you're doing all the time, because again, you're going to tend to get yourself in trouble unless you're really good at tracking and monitoring things. You may be able to get away with it. Number 6, avoid and limit alcohol when you do eat out, and then obviously be choosy with the types of drinks you're having. Alcohol, we have a whole nother video on this as far as alcohol and its role in weight gain. But one of the biggest things with alcohol is that it helps people, or I shouldn't say helps, it makes it so people don't really eat or make very good choices when it comes to their food. It doesn't really suppress appetite. Liquid calories have been shown in many studies, and even substances like alcohol that don't have a lot of calories, but that again just influence us to consume. It's not always just the alcohol itself. It's even just the social environment where everyone around you snacking on chips and peanuts and things like that. That can get you into trouble as far as over consuming calories. Alcohol also has some effects itself at suppressing fat burning that we want to be careful of. So trying to really limit alcohol when you're out and about, and certainly even when you're at home. Number 7, appetizers. Be really careful of appetizers. They are, it's kind of ironic that you have you're having, in this case, an appetizer it's the idea of, we're going to whet your appetite. We're going to essentially give you something that's going to get you to want to eat even more food after. And I know it seems strange, but that's exactly what research shows, is that if you can get people to eat a highly palatable food, it actually leads to more overeating, not less. So, a lot of people will go, I'm just gonna have a little appetizer and I probably won't get anything else, but then next thing you know, you just get the munchies right after. So the goal is, if you're having a meal before a meal, it should be like what we talked about over here, the preload meal, that high fiber, low fat, quote unquote, appetizer. And what it really should be doing is de-appetizing. It should be reducing appetite, not making you want to eat even more. So be really careful with appetizers. If you do order them, make it be your main course. So I know a lot of times when we go out to eat, my wife Tanya, she'll order a cup of soup or a salad or something, and oftentimes she'll make the appetizer her main course. And so not only does she not eat as much, but then she'll also have oftentimes they're a lot less expensive than your main course. Number 8, know what you want before you go. This is a really important one, because if you can spend a little time prior to going to the restaurant and you're not ordering sort of spontaneously, but you ordered in advance, or or at least in advance what you're going to order before you get there, you can make more rational decisions rather than just going based upon your emotions. And even better, if you can order prior to even getting to the restaurant, because again, you get there and you have that social pressure, you see what other people are ordering, and all of a sudden you want to change your mind. Whereas if you've already called and ordered in advance, and all you got to do is show up and say, hey, I'm so and so, I'm just I'm at table whatever, or you're just going to pick it up. This can oftentimes help you to make better choices rather than on the spot choices, which can get you into trouble. Number 9, sneak things in. Don't tell anyone I told you this, but I like to sneak things in to restaurants that are going to help me stay on track. So whether it be low-fat salad dressings, or a unsweetened beverage, or a condiment or spice, or something that's going to, if I say, hey, can you take off the oil? Can you take off the mayo? Can you do this, or can you do that? Then I sometimes want to bring something in to give my meal a little flavor, a little pizzazz, so that I still really enjoy it without, again, hiking the calories way up. And that helps me to stay on track. Anyone who knows me knows I've also a couple of times I've walked into a restaurant with my Metamucil in tow, and I put a couple teaspoons in my glass, and I'm sure there's been plenty of waitresses who are cleaning up the table after who are like, what in the world is this slime that's lining this guy's cup? That's just because I was drinking my protein drink before the main course. All right, let's see, number 10, last one here. I kind of touched on this a little bit already, but it's ask questions and ask for modifications. Don't be afraid to ask people to say, hey, can you substitute this for me? Sometimes people are very accommodating, sometimes they're not. And the good restaurants are the ones who are like, hey, we want to accommodate as much as we can so that, you know, this guy's going to come back. I've had places I've gone and they won't accommodate anything. And I'm like, see ya, I'll go eat somewhere else, because I need to find a place I can eat on the go that's going to have someone who's willing to make substitutions. So if I go to a Denny's, I want to say, hey, can I get egg whites instead of the, you know, full eggs? If I go to, you know, a fast food restaurant like, you know, Burger King, I'm going to say, hey, can I get, you know, extra onions, extra pickles, extra lettuce? Can you take the roll off of this? Can you, you know, I'm going to ask for modifications. And if they're willing to do that and you know what you're asking for, a lot of times you can get some really healthy meals just by being a little bit more proactive about it. You know, asking to say, hey, can you put no oil on that? Can you put the salad dressings on the side? You know, these are all little things that are going to help you to make sure that when you're out and about and you're ordering, you can make that food a little bit healthier and still enjoy yourself out and about. So those are my top 10 tips for eating out at fast food joints and restaurants. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.